Hey, what's up, everybody? It's just Charleston, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got a pretty serious episode for you guys. Today we're gonna be talking about the Clippers and Kawhi Leonard. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now, as all of you are fully aware, or at least a good amount of you, coming into the season, the team I'm supporting is the Clippers. Why? Because I like the team, and Kawhi Leonard is my favorite basketball player of any current NBA player playing right now. Coming into the season, I had a lot of high expectations for the Clippers for these very simple reasons. Number one, 2 seasons ago, when they were healthy, they were able to go to the Western Conference after they lost their first best player in the second round against the Utah Jazz, and they still fought back, won that series, and then took the eventual Phoenix Suns, who would represent the Western Conference. They took that team to 6 games in the Western Conference Finals. So, one would assume that if Kawhi came back healthy, they'd be able to, get even further. The following season, Kawhi did not return, but the team still made it into the play-in as the 8th seed, and they were able to stay afloat because of the fantastic coaching of Tyronn Lue, and these guys just have a no-give-up attitude, and they were playing great defense. So coming into this season, I, like many, thought that, hey, listen, the Clippers are going to be one of the teams to look out for in the Western Conference, and I thought, and probably still think, I don't know, but that the Clippers, we're going to see a Western Conference Finals matchup between the Clippers and the Golden State Warriors, as to decide who's going to represent the Western Conference this season. And I think in the beginning of the season, I have the Nets beating the Milwaukee Bucks to represent the Eastern Conference. But as the season started, some very strange things began to occur. Kawhi only ended up playing the first, I believe, 2 of the first 4 games. I thought that was a bit weird. Why? Because he had taken all of this time to rehabilitate himself and come back 100% healthy. Then he started missing, he missed a stretch of games. I believe it was like 6 or 8 straight games. And they said that he was having some knee soreness, right knee soreness. We then started to hear some rumblings that, in one of those games, Kawhi Leonard wanted to play, but then the coaching staff said that they would not allow him to play. But we didn't really hear much about that. We then started to see some of the very strange minutes restrictions on his game. And I said at the time that this was very concerning. Why? Because this type of, mismatching and bringing players in and out of the lineup, not establishing a lineup, rotations, was definitely going to hurt the chemistry of this team. But for whatever reason, some in Clipper Nation and maybe some people within the Clippers organization were taking this cautious approach of, we want to do everything that we can to ensure that all of our players are healthy come playoff time. But then yesterday, while doing some research, I came across an article from fadeawayworld.net. And this article was basically highlighting some things that Richard Jefferson had to say on ESPN yesterday about the current state of affairs with the Clippers. And as y'all know, at one point they had lost 6 games in a row until they recently snapped that 6-game losing streak against the Dallas Mavericks, when they beat the Dallas Mavericks in a game in which Paul George did not play, but Kawhi Leonard did. And he said something quite interesting that I thought was a bit alarming information about the Clippers and their front office. So what we want to do is, we want to play what Richard Jefferson had to say about the Los Angeles Clippers, and then we're going to come back and react to his comments. So take a listen to what Richard Jefferson had to say there about what's really going on within the Clippers. Take a listen to that.
I think there's one thing that has probably gone unnoticed. Yeah. I bet you, and again, I'm not. This is pure speculation. I think there's some up top stuff. There's some coaching stuff, and then there's some team stuff. When you're talking about Kawhi's not happy, that ain't coming from T. Lue like minute restrictions is. That's coming from above, and there are some people above that might want to poke their nose in some business that they shouldn't, right? In my opinion, you should let the coaches coach, you should let the players play, and then the front office go be the front office. But I'm hearing grumblings that people up top are having opinions about who should be playing, who should be doing this, and the people up top have never coached an NBA championship team. So, respectfully, that's the things that I'm hearing in the Clipper land, is that there's a lot of cooks in the kitchen, and that is never a good recipe.
So you heard what Richard Jefferson had to say. Essentially, what he said is, there's a lot of meddling going on in the Clippers organization. And as a matter of fact, this was something we heard about the Lakers not too long ago. If you remember carefully, there was this thing of who's the one steering the ship? Is it Jeannie Buss? Is it Rob Pelinka? Is it Kirk Rambis? Is it Kurt Rambis' wife? Is it LeBron James and Clutch Sports? We were all wondering who's the one really steering the ship. And it created this problem in which you have too many chefs, too many cooks in the kitchen. And therefore, it was very hard to understand exactly what the hell was going on with the Lakers and in terms of their rotations and all of this stuff. And we heard that there was a lot of meddling going on during Frank Vogel's coaching tenure, at least during that last season before he got fired. And now it seems as if some of that is happening with the LA Clippers. And you know what? I believe what Richard Jefferson is saying for a few reasons. Number one, the Clippers, to me, seem like a team that is undecided about what exactly they want to be in terms of an identity. I've said it before, and I'm gonna say it again. The Clippers' number one problem area is their point guard spot. Their number one problem area. And I want to say this now: if I'm the Clippers and I'm Ty Lue, to simplify this entire equation, I'm going to start Terrence Mann. Some people may agree or disagree. I'm going to start him. He's a 3-and-D guy. He's a 6'5" point guard, so he has size. He can knock down an open three. I believe he can run the point. He has a lot of length and athleticism to guard smaller and quickness to guard smaller point guards and guards. I think he can do a great job when he switches. He's a big time clutch player. And I would then figure out if I'm going to bring Reggie, I would then bring Reggie Jackson and John Wall off the bench, put one of them at the 1, put the other one at the 2, and call it a day. That's what I would do. I think he's their best option as a starting point. But this is just me, right? This is just me. But a lot of this is concerning. Why? Because a lot of times you see the Clippers inexplicably sit down their stars for no good reason. And what would happen is it would cost them games. They would actually lose games because of this. And I've heard that now some of the players are disagreeing with some of those decisions, even if you look at the minutes. Kawhi's minutes, they've been staggering them. It's been steadily going up month to month. But the fact that they're still so cautious with him, I believe, is hurting the chemistry, and it's also hurting them in the wins and loss column. So to me, I think there's some issues here. I really do. And finally, I put up a poll briefly, but I'm gonna say it now. Y'all know I like Paul George, but if I'm the Clippers, they've seen Paul George and Kawhi in the playoffs, and they've done well, but I wouldn't rule anything out. I will still be looking to make a move or two, because obviously this team is not who some of us thought they were going to be, at least at this point in the season. So what I want to know from you guys, what do you think about what Richard Jefferson had to say? What do you think about some of the things I had to say? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. We catch you on the next show. Peace.